Welcome back to another episode of Aunt and Andrew, where family's everything.
Until it's not. I'm Aunt.
And I'm Andrew.
And I'm in a secret location tonight. Actually, I'm on vacation in South Carolina. So I'm not in the toilet. I'm in the business center.
You were so excited to say that you even cut me off before I could say, and I'm Andrew.
Good. I wanted them to know I wasn't in the slammer.
That'd be nice artwork in the slammer.
Wouldn't it
like
be?
Danbury.
No, it's very nice.
Like Danbury.
I'm going to say that South Carolina is just everything.
Oh, yes?
Yeah, I just love it down here. It's a great state. If anybody's watching from South Carolina, you have a great, great state. So we're going to start with Jersey tonight. We're going to talk about Jersey.
Can I just say, I have been saying it all for the whole season, that Vanderpump has overwhelmed me. It's been very hard for me to find the joy in Jersey. It was the most riveting 60 minutes of TV I've seen in a very long time, going back to not the Pump finale, I think the episode before the finale, like when we all knew with that like bar conversation, that was probably the best Bravo episode. This was amazing.
Yeah. Jersey.
I have to tell you, and I just want to say it from the start because
Jersey.
We all know Aunt is very loyal to her tree.
Oh, and I'm more than ever. And more than ever.
See, I disagree with you.
Yeah, I didn't go for it, and I'll tell you why.
Well, I'm going to tell you first.
Yeah.
Joe Gorga and Margaret Josephs sat Melissa Gorga down before the reunion with little sidekick Joe Benigno in the background, but he wasn't really talking because Margaret does all the talking.
True.
And they said, Melissa, go to war with her. Say the most awful things. Mm-hmm. We all have your back. There's nothing you can say that's wrong. You're not going to go over the top. You're not going to do anything. Because I'm telling you, Melissa Gorga, whether she's right or wrong, her no shits giving energy is a different Melissa Gorga.
Because she's struggling for her life. Because they won't have anything unless they have that show. So I thought she was balls to the walls, but the way they threw Jackie under it, Larita under it, Marge, I believe that Melissa, knew little Fuda, and Jackie G, and Jen a little bit too. All decided get together. Let's blame Louie on this. Let's blame Louie.
I think Jackie G's doing better. Don't throw Jackie G and Fessler in there. They both have redeemed themselves with me. I kind of like them. And Fessler, good for you, girlfriend. You are a whole new person. You put on a mask.
There you go. But I just thought watching it that the Gorga army got together and decided that they were going to make up all this stuff on Louie. I don't believe anything they accused Louie of. Not one thing.
I think
and I don't think it was Bo Diddle. I don't think anything.
Well, he said Bo Diddle, so like that one. Don't try to challenge that. I think that I get what you're saying. You're trying to say that you think that maybe some of these, like when they say, oh, there's this Housewives spam thing going. Well, we all know that you can have recordings, call numbers, and plant things, and it's not like, you know, they could find a way to manipulate a number that it shows up like Louie's, have a recording that they like then use like AI, all this stuff that's way above my head. To make say something like into a mic like this and have it spit out in Louie's voice.
Yes.
I'm not saying that's happening, but it is possible.
I just thought that there's a very good chance that they set up Louie's demise to get back a tree. Because if Melissa goes, Margaret could be gone. Jackie loves the spotlight. Fuda's just getting into it. Maybe they're afraid, all of them, for their jobs. And we know Margaret won't have any money without the show. Anyways, let's just say this.
It's believable what you're saying. Maybe not as extreme as you're thinking. I might be on a different end of the spectrum.
Maybe you're on a different end of the spectrum.
It's, in my opinion, because Teresa went away.
Mm-hmm.
She's lost both of her parents over the past 5 years. Like, a lot's happened to her. One thing we know about Tree is that even though she may not say sentences right, use the right words, grammar, all that stuff, her street smarts aren't bad. And I just think that I don't think Teresa never struck me as someone that was in such emotional need that like she wouldn't have be like, oh, this guy seems like trouble. I'm not going to get involved with him. Like, I just think it's all coming out of left field so fast.
No, but he could be like Brooke. I mean, you know, that he
Brooks.
was just trying to fill her love tank, and the first guy that came along did it. So I don't know, but I'm going to tell you,
It's a good point.
the biggest line was, ooh, Melissa Gorga, it's not going to be good for you. Sleep with one eye open.
I think she meant Jacqueline coming for her on social media. That's what they were talking about.
No, she
Yes.
meant, oh, Jackie Larita.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, no,
But I think
definitely.
Dolores, I think that was an accurate statement. Dolores meant not that something bad was going to happen to Melissa, that, oh, like, oh God, Jacqueline Larita is going to come for you, honey.
Well, they're all a little connected.
I don't think
That's
it goes
how
that
I
far.
took it. That's how I took it. I took it as, ooh, sleep with one eye open.
So there's a good podcast episode out now, Tamra and Teddy with Andy when he was promoting
Yeah.
his book. You should listen to
Right.
it. But they talk about each franchise and they talk about Jersey. And one thing that they say is there any Jersey women that you'd want to bring back if like you wanted to make the show better? And Andy was like, well, we probably just had the best season of Jersey we like maybe have ever had, which again blew my mind because I'm like, compared to Vanderpump, I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, it
like
was nothing. Right.
season
right,
2
right.
and Teresa's chasing Danielle to the country club.
Yeah.
Nothing will ever be better. Or honestly, Teresa saying posh, piece of shit, home wrecker every
Yeah.
day.
Square,
But
face,
I'll
square,
say that
fake, boobs.
what struck me was that, and again, I think it would be amazing. Guess who's moving to Orange County? Jackie Larita.
Oh,
Tamara said that because Andy goes, well, Jacqueline lives in Vegas now. And then Tamara
Yeah.
goes, soon to be living in Orange County. We talk to Jackie
Oh.
all the time. Did you think she's that desperate to be on another show that she's like, oh, they brought Taylor on OC, so I'm going to move to the OC. Maybe they'll bring me on too.
desperate. Maybe, I don't know, but I don't think at the end of this, it's gonna be good for Melissa Gorga. I just don't.
I think
I
that
just don't have a good feeling about it for her.
Melissa said something this week that really stuck with me. She said, you're going to look so stupid when you say you don't want to talk to us ever again, and then you start talking to us again. And I think that's what's going to end up happening.
I don't know. I
I
just
know
don't
that
know.
people say they think it's the end this time, but I just don't know.
I don't know either, but I did think it was interesting that Andy showed his elitism when he sort of dissed Rachel. Well, why don't you have a nanny? Don't you think you should have a nanny? That was sort of insulting. I mean, most people don't have a nanny, Andy.
Let's be honest. Yeah.
I mean, it was just like, why don't you have a nanny? Oh, because you couldn't do it, I guess, Andy, with your 2 kids and a job. So you figure nobody else can. And John Fuda got liposuction since the season's over. Jen Fessler is on Ozempic. Dolores is on Ozempic. I'm sure the rest are too. Oh, Marge is also. She said she was on the peptides. So you know what happens when you go off. You blow up like a balloon.
Well, I
So
think Jackie's
next
response
year-
was very kind.
What did she say?
When Andy said, like, what do you think about the Ozempic? And she just said, you know, like, she didn't insult Dolores at all. She just said, you know, like, that wouldn't have been good for me. Like, it actually would have been worse or whatever she said. And she said, because I
Right.
hear you kind of gain it back, but at the same time, like, whatever makes people happy with
Right.
like being like, it was very diplomatic. Jackie seemed in a
No,
better place.
Yes, but next season could be the Real Housewives of, blow up.
Oh, yeah.
Blueberries. I mean, because they're all just going to gain their way back. All I could think of is what was the name? I know Faruka was the one that I wanted.
Veruca
now.
Salt.
Yeah, but she's the one that wanted it now. Who's the
Yeah.
one who blew up? Was that
Augustus Group.
no, Augustus? He went up the tube.
Violet
season-
Beauregard.
Violet Beauregard. Next season on the Real Housewives of you name insert the city, expect to see them blow up like the blueberries of
Ozempic.
Violet Beauregard.
Yeah, we should move to Jersey. We'll
Yeah.
plant blueberry trees and we'll call it the Ozempic Vineyard.
There they go. We have to get some Maine blueberries. Anyways, they should have talked more about Melissa drunk in the cast saying I should call my ex.
I have to tell you something. Like the jury's out for me on that. I felt that when they all started to say, like, when I kind of go with Dolo, because, like, for example, Dolo has in the moment, Dolo goes, "Oh, I didn't tell you, Teresa, because, like, they said they told you." And then Teresa kind of got mad, that whole thing about something that she didn't tell. But then she's also like, "Oh, Melissa, Jackie's going to come for you." And then the next moment she's like, "I didn't think much about the ex comment." Dolores, in my opinion, like, she walks into things and she says what she wants to say regardless. She doesn't really care. I would have to maybe be there. I know that sounds so cliche, but I feel like in order for me to really give my opinion, I'd have to be there, because if Melissa was really drunk, I just think that's, like, it'd be so different if she, like, slipped and said someone else's name. You know, we got Rachel over there in West Hollywood telling Ariana that she had dry spells with Sandoval. Okay, that's slipping up. That's
gaslighting. That's gaslighting.
No, she didn't mean to do that in that moment.
I think
when she goes, I sometimes have dry spells with Sandoval, and even Ariana didn't notice. That's slipping up. That's like Melissa being like, "Oh, you know, that's what I tell John. I mean, Joe." And then that would be something to talk about, in my opinion.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you, I think that they're doing like a pump, that they're dragging it out beyond what needs to be dragged out. Because I just thought it's dragged out a little bit more. I don't like how the boys arrived. They got their own cars, the whole bit. But I do not believe after episode 2 that the Gorgas and Teresa should ever talk to each other again. Except at the coffin.
I agree with you. I mean, I think that, like,
they just need to move on.
Or like, there's one thing that needs to happen. There needs to be, people say time heal all wounds. Like, no, time doing nothing doesn't heal anything. Time to yourself, because you want to go figure out, like, what you were bringing to the table that was wrong, and you want to maybe show up after doing work as a different person. Well, that's a whole different conversation. But I hate to say this, like, they've all said it 100 times in this show. "Oh, the Italian old school. We don't go to therapy. We don't do this. We don't do that." Like, right. All, like, look at them. They're all on TV. I say this to to Brad and friends of his at times. Y'all got a little bit of ego if you can go on the stage and sing and perform like that to people. If you can go on a reality show, y'all got a little bit of ego.
They got ego.
The way of solving problems. So, like, and everyone knows that. So it's like, when you got a bunch of people with egos, big, small, in between, you know, like, they all have different reasons for their egos. You know, not everyone's going to be Bill Aiden. It's like, yeah, whatever, life. You know, I have millions and millions because I, you know, do like Paul Nassif has never been insecure on TV. Like, some of these house husbands that have big careers, legitimate degrees, this school, that, everything else, and they're in an industry where they don't have to be PC for the world. Like, those are the real ones. And Joe Gorga has just been, it's like, they're all in this boat, I think, of ego, where none of them are willing to change for the other person.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But I do think that they've all gotten together and they all got their stories straight. And I think they are very manipulative. And I do not know where Jersey goes from here, which is sad.
I have a couple notes, because you know what? I realized the other day, when we do Pump, I'm saying this for the world, y'all to hear, I forget a lot of things, and then I realize them after, and I'm like, oh my God, I needed to say that. So I'm going to start with the things I forgot from last week, but not for the next one. But I will say for this one, okay, Margaret gave the BJ under the dashboard to hide from Jan. Okay, let's be honest. She wanted to be hidden, given the BJ, so she did it while the car was moving under the dashboard, because she was cheating on her husband, not because she wanted to be creative.
Right, and remember, Jan's dead, so he can't defend himself.
100%, but I also did like what she said about Jan. That all makes sense.
No, yeah. I know that, but now he can't defend himself at all, and he can't say anything different than what she says from this point over. So it was almost to her benefit that Jan died.
It's also the same thing for Jimmy Gandolfino or whatever with Jesse.
James Gandolfino. Yeah.
So I already said Jackie was. You can tell Jackie's very upset she got demoted, but I have to say, as she continued to talk more, she was more organic in that segment of the reunion than she was for a full season as a full-time housewife. Every conversation she and Evan had was forced.
And not only that, And she's lucky she was back at all for the reunion and any scenes, because most of the times they don't have you back. You're not back.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say, I think she probably looks at it now and she's like, oh, wow. Like, and she probably doesn't know this because she probably doesn't realize how tragic she was as a first season housewife.
Maybe. Yeah.
And she's got Aunt and Andrew talking about her for 3 minutes on our podcast because we see her growth. She is much better of a housewife now. And I say that if she's actually this person that we've seen over the, Teresa's wedding special, and just be that person, Jackie, because if you're that
authentic,
person, if the rumors are true and you got more money than anyone and you're that authentic person, you may land full-time again someday.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Now, Melissa Gorga, I said that already. Go nasty at Teresa. We'll have your back. Jennifer didn't set Danielle up. Jennifer opened her big fat mouth and didn't want Melissa to know she told Danielle. That's why she said she was upset. That's why she said, don't say it. It was not because, and she's just, that's what, like, these people don't tell the truth to people. What she should have said to Danielle was, Danielle, I already told her I was gossiping and I told you, and I don't want Melissa to be mad at me for telling people this. So you can't, but she does know.
Right.
But she didn't say that. Best reunion in years. Oh, I will say, Louie's starting to scare me a little. And I said, could you imagine if he puts Teresa back in jail?
Well, I'm a little afraid of that because it did come out this week that she has a lien in back taxes.
Yep. And also John Food is kind of scary. I like him skinnier. It makes him a little more aggressive. Last thing from me, my last thought. I got an idea for Chris Christie. His campaign song could be a remix of On Display, On Display, On Display. Just because he announced on the same day.
I know, but he doesn't have a chance. So
I know, neither does Mr. Gorga.
I don't know. I want to say conversating is a word, and that Danielle is still the best housewife on the panel right now to me.
I got to tell you, this show is, I just had a realization. This show is like the Republican candidates. Teresa's Trump. They all hate her. They all want to talk shit, but she's still going to win.
She's the star, right? And
she's
so
still going to get the nomination. Everything's going to function around her.
And who's Melissa Gorga?
I don't know if I want to go that deep of who other people are. Because I thought to myself, who's Danielle? So I don't really know. But I think that the Teresa example is that, because if you go on Twitter,
everyone hates, what you mean.
Everyone hates Teresa. Everyone thinks Teresa's so bad on Twitter. But at the end of the day, let's see who survives.
Yeah, it's going to be Teresa.
I don't know if I agree that it should be, but I agree with you that it will be.
Yeah, and I hope that next week is even better.
Yeah, it's going to get kind of aggressive. I have to say that I think Louie, I think that they are all going against Louie and making stuff up. But I believe that Louie did this to himself.
By saying Bo Diddle.
Yep.
Yeah.
He thought he was going to be tough.
Yeah, and remember, they've had months since the finale before the reunion. Months and months and months.
And strategically, Teresa and Louie go on Watch What Happens Live, and she defeats that rumor, right? Like, she says it out there like, oh, well, that didn't happen. Like,
okay, so when did Teresa get married? In August, was it?
Yeah.
And the finale was the big prohibition party was before that, because the Gorgas didn't go. So they've had August to June. Well, they did the reunion in May. From August to May, they had a lot of time to plan, watch the show, and really plan their pounds. So that's why I believe they've made up all this stuff about Louie.
And the other thing we have to remember about this show is that this show is a show that is supposed to be about class and wealth.
What? Like, Jersey is about class?
Housewives. The brand of Housewives is like being a classy, affluent.
I thought Housewives was about being trashy wealth, not classy wealth.
I think the goal is that in their city, they're supposed to be like what the classy.
Not Jersey.
I think that they are what
maybe
represents
New York, maybe Beverly Hills, but not Jersey.
Okay, maybe not classy, but I'm saying more the money. It's the money. It's the big, 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 big. That's the thing about a housewife.
Not Jersey. Jersey's never been though. Jersey's not about big money. Maybe when Kim.
How do you figure?
She was, because she had real money.
Okay, but I'm not saying big like that. But what I'm saying more is like they throw big parties, they do this, they do that. So if you got financial problems, don't go on a show like that.
No, never.
That's the
Never,
stupidest thing
never,
I've ever
never.
heard.
Yeah, but sometimes you have to spend money to make money. So they think they have to have these great big parties in order to have a big scene at their house, and then they are a shoe-in on the show.
I mean, the other thing we have to remember about Louie that I also think is pretty ballsy, he's brought his whole family into the show. They've all been so willing to go on the show. Meaning, like, if he had skeletons in his closet, why would his sisters want to be involved?
I don't know, but
I don't think they would.
Yeah, I don't need that unless they're Scientologist.
Maybe, you never know. All I know is that it's very sad to watch how it's all going down just because they are family. But at the end of the day, I think that if this was going down and Joe Giudice was in the picture, old Joe Giudice, not the new Zen, sexy, juicy Joe. Miss you, Juicy. I would be nervous what direction Teresa would go in, but I do have confidence that if the world that Louie brings to the table is what Teresa wants, he will always protect her and be there. And I do believe that.
I hope so for Tree.
I want her to be good.
Well, I don't want to see Prison 2.0.
Well, I will say that we got one more left.
I know. I can't wait until next week.
And unfortunately, I think we got after Pump, we actually have a second Pump because we're going to do one about secrets revealed for Pump.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's so many scenes that might bring out some stuff. But in Jersey, the secrets revealed. Sorry. We got OC now. We got OC to fry.
Yes, we do.
So anywho, well, thank you all so much for joining us. We appreciate you and we hope you spread lots of love, love, love. Click subscribe, follow us, share us, talk about us. Complain about us, bitch about us, get mad at us. We really don't give a shit. Do anything about it.
We don't.
Talk about us because we love talking to you. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.